Hey guys, it's Ethan here. We're gonna look for a 15-10 game. Alright, we got an opponent, Gazptxito something from España, 1472, and we're gonna French defense here. Hopefully my screen recording thing is set up a little bit better. Probably gonna play D4 and play the advanced French, or maybe the exchange, I'm not sure. So, this is the common reply. Okay, well, now I must say I am pretty well out of prep. I'm thinking about just setting up a pawn trio just to maybe prevent this and maybe make him prep it or something. I mean, this doesn't prevent it necessarily. I mean, he can still play it anyway, but the difference is I can take, and after he captures on the e-file, I have two center pawns in this fashion, and he just has one d-pawn, which could be potentially useful. So I suppose he could lunge at me also if I play this, but I guess that just loses a pawn, doesn't it? Yeah, takes and takes with the bishop. So I think this is fairly sensible. I'm in completely unfamiliar territory. This is the French defense, St. George defense. I have no idea. I am familiar with this, however. The three-pawn attack is what this is typically referred to as, so not like super familiar. So seems like kind of a reserve move, nothing real crazy. I'm thinking about just plopping my knight here, just getting a little crazy. This is worth some consideration, hitting the g-pawn, because there's not a really good way for him to defend it. Yeah, bishop there, I'm going to push e5, and then that pawn's lost. And if he pushes, well, I think that's almost a concession, especially after I still play e5. Unfortunately, it breaks a chess principle to do so, but I believe that's probably the best way forward, just to attack this little weak pawn and see if I can get him to commit to this light squared structure. But I'm going to opt to just play it normally. I'm already a few minutes behind on the clock, so I'd rather not spend too much time. I'm just going to develop quickly. Now I might give it some consideration. Not entirely sure anymore, because this, after this I can try and lock it down, but it doesn't work because I'll be hanging a pawn. I need to try and protect that again somehow. I guess this makes some sense, though, push, kind of inviting him to play that, really. Probably just keep it simple and crazy. Get ready to break in the center. So we've almost kind of transitioned into a Sicilian type structure now with c5, a close Sicilian. I guess if I push here, he's going to lock up the center, is his idea. Do I really want to do that? Probably not. When if I push and captures, I have to capture and I lose a pawn. Okay, so I can't push. This is the only pushing move that I can make. I'm gonna I'm going to do it because I feel that I have pretty good positional sense, and so when the pawn structure becomes locked like this, if he plays this e5, okay, he's not going to. He's going to opt to play something obscure. Takes, and this just looks interesting for him. I have a protected passed pawn, which will be a valuable asset in the endgame. So I'm pretty happy with just taking. I mean, I don't see a real problem with that. Probably just castles here. Nothing too crazy. But which pawn to recapture with? Because he's most certainly going to take. I'm not going to take. That would be silly. But I suppose we will wait and see. Probably take with the c pawn and look to play something like that maybe. Well, no, that kind of locks in my light square bishop. I'll probably take with the e pawn to eye up his, yeah, okay. So recently I've been on a bullet roll. Been playing a lot of bullet chess on my phone because that's the only time format that I can really play some serious bullet chess. And probably looking at just keeping him out of this square, maybe giving my king, maybe something like that. Because if I take with the e pawn, light squares, and not sure. But my bullet rating has been improving significantly. My tactics have been real clear. Is this okay? Just kind of developing the bishop, keeping an eye, saying you have to keep watching that so the bishop doesn't stray too far. Maybe. Probably, it's also probably good just to high up this square in general, these squares with that bishop, in case he ever tries to do some kind of crazy knight maneuver and plant his knight in that. Okay, so I said we're taking with the e pawn. Okay, we have e4 is under control, so an e4 pawn break doesn't make much sense. Although I might. That looks like a good move. That forces the knight exchange because I have a double attack. Well, it doesn't force it, but you know what I mean. It's a fair move. Although I might invest a move just keeping his bishop off that square. Kind of make it hard for him to really figure out where he wants to put his bishop. Right now, his bishop belongs on g4. So he still can't push e4, so I think this move just makes sense, just keeping that bishop off that square. And the next move, looking to play this. And I think this is fairly safe to just go ahead and throw out there. Then I'll have a good bishop to line up that weak square. Might even play this. Force him to kind of concede a little bit. Yeah, I'm kind of liking my position. I think I'm liking it pretty good. No advantage or anything, but I think, oh, he might play f5. That'd be interesting. Yeah, he is going to play f5, isn't he? Okay. What are my options? Bring the bishop back to here? Or should I try for this? Not entirely sure where the bishop belongs. This is interesting, but it almost guarantees he's going to play that. Then my bishop will look even more sad. Here, though, is this something to be worried about? It's certainly annoying. I would have to retrograde my bishop and seek to put him on c3, it would seem. Which could be slightly annoying. Probably shouldn't dwell on this too much. So I think I'll just play bishop c2. I don't think this is like a critical moment in the game or anything. Queen there is interesting. Kind of unclear what he's trying to attain. I should probably bring my queen out. Maybe get him to play that or something. This f5 move was a pretty good one, it seems. I noticed it. Can't play king here. Just kind of check, and I have to go back. Although I don't see the direct purpose of this move. It is annoying though, because his queen has a nice square. You know. Maybe I just kind of centralize, look to maneuver back. Problem is, if you can get that in, that actually looks kind of scary. I guess I can play this, but then I drop that. Yeah, so the queen is always going to have to... Oof. Okay, this might actually be kind of an important position. I might have to play this just to induce this and then offer a queen trade or something. Yeah, this is kind of a sharp position. And thinking here, if here I'm not scared because he can't push f3 right away, but if here I'm not sure, I offer him a queen trade, maybe he takes, I take, and my endgame is better because of my protected passed pawn I have on b5. So I'm going to try that. Is there anything? There is something wrong with that. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Queen here. Here. His bishop covers that square, so I can't even offer a queen trade. Interesting. I'm just gonna go here because I'm literally like way down on the clock. As expected. Okay, and it looks like I kind of have a saving move in this position, so here. Offer the queen trade. And life should be significantly better. No way. There's no way. What's his argument? So here. I don't think this works. There's no way. Okay, here takes... I get in here. No, I don't, because that's unprotected. But I get here, or here. There's no way this works. Alright, well, whenever somebody sacks a piece like this, it's never a good sign. But you're pretty well lost if you don't accept it. You already let it happen, so I think I have to let this run its course. And either I'm going to get mated or I'm going to survive. We'll see. I don't believe it. I'm a non-believer. But I feel that I'm not lost because of this. Yeah, I think this just kind of solves my problems, and I can run away if I need to. Even offer queen trade here pretty quick, although I do have to kind of be weary of that move. Okay, I think naturally I'm just going to block here. Yeah, I don't know what his point is with that. I don't think I really have a choice. I mean, anything. Yeah, and I'm just going to step up with the king. Step up with the king. I'm going to use his pawn as shelter. And if he swings over here, I can swing over here to guard that square, so I'm not concerned, I don't think. Yeah, I think his, well, and my bishop covers that square anyway. So, yeah. Don't think this worked out for my opponent. Yeah, now he's just dropping a pawn. I mean, that's a free pawn. Now the rooks have tension. I'm liking that. You can see moves like this coming later. Even if he doubles up, I'll stand firm. Play bishop c3. Yeah, so my opponent definitely should have used some of his time. Notice he still has 15 minutes. And, I mean, my time management's probably been poor this game. But, actually, what can he do? He can do something to me, can't he? Rook here takes. Rook here takes. Okay, so I actually do have to cover that square. My bad. Yeah, interesting. So I suppose I kind of have to play this, actually, don't I? Yeah. Okay, so now I got that defended twice, so there's no rook infiltrating, picking up a piece. The problem with that line was after rook here and we trade, and then he comes in here with check, I have to like step away and both bishops were hanging, so he was going to get a lot of initiative. For that move. So now I'll probably just take. I guess I could have take. Take would have worked, but now I'll take and fight his one bishop. Okay. He's not he's not promoting that pawn. Yeah, there's no way. I was gonna say, I mean, it didn't look like he was promoting that pawn, but just to be, you have to be a little cautious in these positions, you know. Can't just give up because I'm up a piece. Well, 2 pawns. He has 1 pawn, and I have a piece. But it looks like this guy will fall, if I had to guess. Okay. I think this move just picks up that pawn. Sure looks like it. So we're going to go for that. down kind of to the nitty-gritty here, so life's a little bit hard. He's going to have these two pawns that he can maybe do something with, maybe not. I don't know how effective they're going to be. I mean, I'm picturing I take here, he might trade the bishop. He might not. If he doesn't, he's going to have a really tough time because I'm going to get e5 in and it's going to be protected. So that's going to be a tough one for him to figure out. If he does swap, then I'm not sure that I get that move in. Yeah, so I kind of saw that one coming, just kind of a, well, if you get my pawn, I'm going to get yours. But obviously I'm not going to let that happen because this pawn is cooked. Now he's kind of blockading. I got two connected passed pawns. One of them protected. It'd be nice if I could get two protected passed pawns, but I don't think that's going to happen. So let's go in for this. Now I might get it in with check, which will be helpful. Although, is he lost? No, because these squares are controlled. So my king has time to step over to protect. But I do have to be a little weary of those pawns. Okay. Well, that seems to be the game, I guess. Let's go to the analysis. Hopefully my screen's a little bit better. Okay, looks okay. Let me hurry up and shut everything off before I cheat again. Okay, let's do analysis. Self-analysis does not show lines. Alright. So let's check this game out. Okay, so first things first, we got the French defense, which is a pretty good opening or option for black against e4. It's one of the more common ones. That was wild. e4. The opening that I played last time is the Caro-Kann, which is exactly like the French defense. The only difference is you get this bishop out to this diagonal, outside of your pawn chain. So if we go back, I'm just going to show this really quick because this is the advantage to playing the Caro-Kann. e4, we have a Caro-Kann. Okay, most common move is d4 here, and we either have an exchange Caro-Kann, which we had in my game, or we have this advanced variation. Either one, it doesn't matter. Black's reply is going to be to get this nice bishop on this pretty good diagonal and then close it up. He kind of has to fight against this, invasive pawn controlling the f6 square, but the idea, is you can get your knight out somehow, and it's better than the French defense because in the French defense, the main line, either way, whatever French defense you play, d6, d4, d5, this is the French defense here, and you can either play the advanced or the exchange. Usually I play the advanced unless it's, like blitz or something, then I try and get a little crazy because why not? Anyways, in the game, whoa, went a little crazy, sorry. We had, no, that's my analysis, sorry. Okay. In the game we have the French, and then he plays this, which is the St. George, specifically, and I opted for the 3-pawn attack, which is just kind of, that's how I roll, I guess. Sorry, I'm still getting an analysis over here. Anyways, so 3 pawns attack. Yeah, bishop e7 was probably not the best. I think he probably could have tried to do a check or something. I mean, granted, it's not like the greatest move, but maybe I just block with my knight and he can go on about his life developing. I think the bishop's a little awkward on e7. Definitely probably not where it wants to be. but it wasn't like a catastrophic blunder or anything. Knight c3 I think makes sense. d6 makes sense, preventing me from breaking down his structure, doing anything crazy. Bishop d3 makes sense if my idea is to play e5 to open my eyes. Then I think he's in a powerful place. He's also defending his pawns in case this knight isn't around, and this pawn just needs defense anyway. And it's better to defend a pawn with a piece, because if you just opt to move another pawn, that pawn can never take it back. So, you know, sometimes it can be better to just protect it with a piece and leave your pawn on b2 where it is, because it could prove difficult. Knight d7 I think is okay. I think if he would have played knight c6, I probably would have tried to break in the middle and start some kind of attack, so I think that was pretty good. Knight f3 seemed pretty good. Yeah, and so here we have this weird structural move. He's trying to do a pawn break, but I'm not going to take, and I don't want him to take, so I pretty much am forced to play d5, I think. I mean, there's really no other option. I mean, I ruin my pawn structure if I take, and I let him ruin my pawn structure if I let him take, and then he gets this initiative with kicking my knight around, and I lose all my space. So I opted for d5, which I think is a good move. Yeah, okay, this is definitely not a good move, I don't think. I think this is probably an inaccuracy, just because I get to take and double his pawns, and I get this protected passed pawn right here. So right now, no matter what, if we trade and we do that, I get this protected passed pawn that's 3 moves away from promoting. So if every piece comes off, the queens, the bishops, the knights, the rooks, everything, I have a protected passed pawn that I can just run my king around wherever I want and try and scoop up pawns if they're weak. And his king will always have to stay close to these 3 squares to ensure that my pawn doesn't bolt and just promote. So I think already there I have a pretty big advantage with that last move that he made. I think these moves are all pretty good. Although bishop e3 might not have been best, I don't really know, but I certainly don't mind that move. I'm not going to say it was anything bad. Okay, so I think e takes was probably good. The computer will probably disagree and say I should have played c takes, because as we saw, that f4 move was, I mean, if you can imagine, if I have a pawn structure, let me just go back. So if you can imagine I captured like this, it locks my bishop in. He has nowhere to go. This square's taken. That square is likely to be taken, and even if I go there, this is coming with this, so then my bishop would end up on c2 anyway, if I chose to run like that. But, so this bishop's going to be having a hard day, just trying to find some kind of activity, and that f4 idea is not nearly as poisonous, because I think he had something, or not f4, f5. I think he had something with f5, I really do. I think probably here, I probably should have looked to play that in the game. So even with e takes, or where is it? Sorry, knight takes e5. Let me just kind of scoot along here. Yeah. So even with e takes, I think after that move, I think I should have looked to play this. I really do. I think f4 was the move to play, especially if I played c takes and I had a pawn here, because then he wouldn't have been able to play his f5 and life probably would have been better for me. I don't think this move was as good as I thought it was. So I think that move was okay, but I still think f4 was better. I'm not sure though. The computer will have to tell me. I mean, F4 just looks better. I think it kind of takes that sharpness out of the position that we reached after this. Yeah, so right here, F4 or F5. Literally, right when I captured, I was like, man, he has F5. Like F5 looks dastardly. Like just a strong attack is coming on the king side. I mean, these bishops are both eyeing down some critical squares. His queen infiltrates. His rook is going to get some pressure, especially once this pawn pushes all the way down. So, yeah, I think he had something here. I think this was all pretty good. Maybe I made some mistakes, but what I'm really focused on is his mistakes, because he made a mistake here. Yes, so right here, this I think is a blunder. Best move. Best move is this. My reply is this. He plays this. And I think I have to give the piece back like this and have him take. I think this was the best continuation for him, is for me to give the bishop back after queen takes. And this, I think this was actually his best move. It might be a little crazy, but I think queen takes h3, I'm willing to bet, is either a blunder or a serious mistake, and I think the evaluation will reflect that. I think this was the best response to his given move. And I think that was terrible. I think if anything, he should have played that, which would have probably forced me to play this, and then after check or something. I mean, I don't think this was a good move. I mean, that pretty well forces the queens almost off. I mean, where's his queen going to go? I mean, if she comes here, I come here, he has to take pretty much, because this pawn, if the queen was to retreat back to here, I mean, he's just giving me a pawn. So yeah, I don't think that was the best move for him. It's a good try. That was a good try. This was a little trickier. Yeah, probably the best move. Good reply by me. Probably should have taken and just offered him it straight up. Don't see what that did all that much. I think he should have probably tried to preserve his rook, because if he doesn't, he's just losing. I mean, he's already losing, but if you remove his one other asset other than his bishop, I mean, the game's just lost. I think he should have sought to target this pawn, make sure that I can't push it. Although this was coming, I mean, this position's probably busted anyway, but it would have given him a better shot. I mean, he had a lot of time, rather than just let me trade off material and go to this winning endgame. Not really sure what king f7 was about. I mean, yeah, you want to try and centralize your king, but I mean, I got your pawn. I mean, I don't know what he's supposed to do. And then here, I mean, the way I saw this playing out was this. Although that'd be lost, so actually I think he'd have to play this. And then, yeah, this gets a little complicated for me, because if I play this and he starts running, get this check, he has to step back. Okay, yeah, no, this would be totally lost. I think this is just, 100% lost. I did make, according to the report, I played with a 99.3% accuracy, and my opponent played with a 90.4%. And so, all in all, I think I played pretty good. I got 22 best move, 1 excellent, 2 good, 3 book, 1 inaccuracy, and 1 blunder, which I'm curious about. And then my opponent found 1 brilliant move, 13 of the best moves, 4 excellent, 4 good, 2 book, 4 inaccuracies, 1 blunder. So I'm curious about his brilliant move, because that is the best move, but it's hard to find, or tricky anyway. That's what chess.com says. So let's go to the retries here. So that was my move in the game, in this position. I said I probably should have played f4. It's an inaccuracy. Okay, so it doesn't agree with me here. Pin the knight, maybe? Yeah, I think it's pin the knight. Pin the knight to the queen. It's excellent. Still not the best. So let's try and find one better. No, it can't be that. Is it to put the bishop here? Offer it up for the knight? And then just have this pressure on these pieces? It's willing to give it a shot. I mean, I don't like the looks of it, but maybe it's what it's looking for. Okay, no, it's still an accuracy. So bishop g5 is what I probably would end up playing because I can't find this best move, so let's just view it. Okay. Yeah, I'll admit I have a tough time deciding when to move my rooks like that. I really do. Sometimes, like, centralizing my rook just doesn't come to mind. You know, I'm like, well, my queen's still in the back rank. There's a good move I kind of see to, you know, lead me better, but yeah, definitely need to get better at just centralizing my rooks and everything else. Okay, so that was good. Let's go ahead and run through the game here. Whoops, I'm not getting any analysis here. Sorry. Let's just turn everything on. Let's see what it says. Okay, book, 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 book. Inaccuracy, yeah. So, okay, all those moves were good. Yeah. Okay. Good move. Best move. Castles wasn't the best. Okay, E takes was the best. Okay, so that's interesting. Yeah, that bishop move, well, and my move, yeah. It says it likes bishop g5, as we stated previously. It says this was unnecessary. Okay, not that surprising, though. It says I have an advantage, and I think that will last until we get an f5. Ooh, okay, no. That changes right here. Right before f5. And f5 comes. Yeah. Yep, best move, and brilliant move. G takes his best, yeah. So this was his brilliant move. The sacrifice. The bishop sacrifice. Unfortunately, my opponent did not follow up correctly, I feel. Okay, yeah, and so the line that I suggested is the best. No. We knew that was a blunder. Yeah, so it says f3. Okay, and then queen e4, like I said. Ooh, and it says to go ahead and play queen takes h3. Wow. Okay, I guess that gets him the pawn back. Or it wins him a pawn, does it? Yeah. Yeah, and then we take and trade and on h7, so. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. But queen takes h3 is a blunder, as I said, so my opponent was doing good and probably a little bit better, if not winning. But he missed his shot here. Okay, queen g3 is good. As I said, rook f6 was better. Best move. Yeah, takes. Get this nice shield. Oh, yeah. a4 was better, but I like my move. Okay, that just kind of threw away a pawn. Yeah, rook takes was a good alternative. Okay, so yeah, either one of those moves would have been good. Rook captures or bishop, where I put it, was good. We had rook takes. Yeah, and this was an inaccuracy, as I figured. You know, if anything, he should have captured and drug my king away. Bishop g5 was best. Bishop h4 was best. And bishop e5 was best. 3 was best. Yep. Okay. So I think that pretty much wraps that one up. Just to highlight, man, this move, says he's better. Just, yeah, I think he got a little antsy and thought I might be able to defend that pawn or something, but that wasn't working. Yeah, f3. f3 all the way. It says to grab. No, it's my move, sorry. Here, grabs, and then queen takes h7, queen takes h7. Okay, and all is said and done. Black is up a pawn. It looks like, yeah. 4, 4, yeah. How big of a pawn is it? I don't know, because my structure here is pretty healthy. But I suppose these are too. I'd have a hard time proving that they're weak. But yeah. So kudos to my opponent for finding that move. Unfortunately, he just didn't have the correct follow-up. So, yep. Alright guys, well, hope you had a good day and enjoyed the video. Let me know if you like where my screen recording's at, and I'll see you guys next time.